Hey, welcome back to the stash. There's something magical about comics. They're loud, they're weird, they're messy, and when they're done right, they're alive. They can take you back to being a kid lying on the floor completely immersed in a world where anything is possible. That's what comics are supposed to do. They're supposed to make you feel something. Not just excitement, not just nostalgia, but pure wonder. And Metamorpho the Element Man issue 1, it does just that. It reminded me why I fell in love with comic books in the first place. Metamorpho isn't your typical superhero. He's not suave like Bruce Wayne or iconic like Clark Kent. He's a freak, a guy made of elements, cursed to be something he never wanted to be, and yet in his weirdness, in his otherness, there's a beauty. A beauty that writers like Ewing and artists like Steve Lieber understand. The first issue isn't just a callback to the Silver Age of comics, it's a celebration of what makes the medium timeless. It's bold, it's vibrant, it's unapologetically itself. And in a world where so many stories feel like they're trying to be movies or an intense drama, it's refreshing to see a comic book that embraces everything comic booky. But that's the thing about Metamorpho. He's always been different. Not in a gritty reboot kind of way, but in a way that feels earnest. He's weird in the best sense of the word. A character who doesn't always fit neatly into the world of DC's heavy hitters, and that's why he works. Rex Manson's story is one of tragedy, of transformation, of trying to find humanity in something monstrous, and this new issue, it leans into all of that while having the time of its life. You can tell the creative team is having fun, and that fun is infectious. But before we dive into this wonderfully bizarre world, let me quickly say this. Here at The Stash, we're on a mission from God. We're trying to hit 6,000 subscribers. Hello, future me here now editing this video. This one's been in the archives for a while now, so you probably noticed that we have smashed the subscribe goal. We are well past 6,000 now. We're on our way to 6.5, which is insane. The support has been insane, so thank you all so much, especially on the last video I made with Spider-Man one. It's just crazy. So yeah, I'm with my dog right now, just editing. It is thunderstorming. It was 40 degrees today, but whatever. Australia weather sucks. But yeah, I mean, if we hit 6.5 thousand, that would be even more insane. Also, I think it's worth mentioning that I do have a membership down below. It is only $5. You get a bunch of cool perks, and you get to request your own video. So yeah, that's there in case you wanted to go that bit extra with the support. And yeah, back to the video. If you love deep dives into comics, if you love passion projects like this one, or you just love nerding out over superheroes, consider sticking around and maybe hitting that subscribe button. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it helps us keep the lights on around here. Plus, it'd mean the world to me. This channel is built on passion, and if you're watching this, odds are you're as passionate about comics as I am. But with all that being said, let's get into it. Let's talk about Metamorpho the Element Man issue 1. Let's talk about the Silver Age magic it recaptures, the brilliant work of Al Ewing and Steve Lieber, and why this issue isn't just a love letter to comics, it's a reminder of why we read them in the first place. This is more than just a review. In a way, it's a celebration of the weird, the wonderful, and everything in between. This issue throws us back, way back, not to the streets of Jump City or the labs of Stag Industries, but to somewhere entirely alien. A place where solar law reigns supreme and the sky is ruled by a six-sided sun. Enter Prince Rahman, a character whose ties to Metamorpho are shrouded in mystery yet undeniably connected through the strange power of the Orb of Ra. We find the prince victorious, having just defeated the servant of a dark master who dared challenge the sun's domain. It's strange, it's otherworldly, it's completely disorienting in the best way possible. As the prince delivers a decisive blow with his mind mastery, the enemy is obliterated, paying the ultimate penalty to the demon sun. But then the unthinkable happens. The second sun explodes. Was this cosmic destruction part of the plan, a consequence of victory? Rahman's cryptic warnings suggest it's all part of a solar law, but the moment lingers with questions that subtly nudge at the deeper mythology of Metamorpho's world. And then with a burst of energy, we're dropped into Jump City. It's the grooviest and most intentionally undefined city in the DC universe, and it's everything you want it to be. Don't think too hard about where it is, just soak in the dreams built here and the hearts broken. It's also the new home of Stag Industries HQ, where Simon Stagg is predictably one jump ahead of his enemies, but not far enough for this instance because this is where Mr. 3 makes his move. Mr. 3 is the master of infiltration, a villain with the uncanny ability to shift between the three states of matter. He effortlessly slips past Java, transforming into a puddle to infiltrate Stag's fortress and access the coveted Metamorpho files for the shadowy organization Cyclops. It's classic comic book espionage, but with a hint of modern flair. And then comes the twist. As Mr. 3 rifles through the files, Rex Manson himself, Metamorpho, bursts through the monitor, having disguised himself as an extra layer of glass. But the tables turn quickly. Mr. 3 blinds Rex with a strange piercing light, and suddenly Metamorpho's powers start to fail him. He's unable to transform, with his body reverting to a goopy, unstable mess. The scene is both humorous and unsettling, a callback to Rex's origin and the fragility of his transformation. Just as it seems that all hope is lost, the rest of the cast swoops in. Sapphire, Simon Stagg, and even Java. The chaotic, dysfunctional dynamic is still alive and well, with Sapphire's unwavering support of Rex clashing hilariously against Java's desperate attempts to impress her. But Mr. 3 isn't just another dime a dozen villain. His mastery over matter gives him the upper hand. He reshapes his head into water, reforms it, and blasts Java away like it's nothing. Sapphire quips that Metamorpho could do the same thing, but now's not the time for comparisons. Things escalate when Stagg attempts to counter Mr. 3's light with his own Orb of Ra, but the plan fails spectacularly, forcing Java to use a super chilled Freon system to drive the villain into retreat. And then just when you think things can't get any wilder, Urena Blackwell aka Element Girl arrives. She's a Shade operative with powers derived from the same meteor that created Metamorpho. She's a flirtatious wildcard who immediately disrupts Rex's world. Her motives are murky, her chemistry with Rex sparks instant tension, and her ties to Mr. 3 raise even more questions. As the plot unfolds, the stakes grow higher, for Mr. 3's betrayal of Shade and his theft of their Orb of Ra tied directly into Cyclops' shadowy Project Sunrise. The climax of this issue sees Metamorpho and Element Girl confronting Mr. 3 in a gas state. The villain's light continues to weaken them, pushing Rex to a desperate gamble. Drawing on his knowledge of chemistry, he devises a plan to create plasma, combining their elemental forms with an electrical charge to stop Mr. 3. The plan works barely, but the victory is bittersweet. Mr. 3 is down, but the threat of Cyclops looms large, and Element Girl, she's not going anywhere. And so our story ends with a shocking revelation. Rex vows to uncover the truth about Project Sunrise, a mystery that starts with the death of Metamorpho himself. Metamorpho has always been a bit of an enigma. Like I said at the start of the video, he's not Batman or Superman. He doesn't command the spotlight or headline the massive crossover events. But that's precisely why I've always been drawn to him. He's unique, a chemical cocktail of oddball charm, bizarre powers, and that undeniable underdog energy. Now, while I wouldn't call myself a metamaniac as this series might coin it, Metamorpho has still always had this magnetic quality to me. He stands out in a world of capes and cowls, not in spite of his weirdness, but because of it. It's funny, because when I added Metamorpho the Element Man issue 1 to my pull list, I was met with an almost comical level of surprise from one of the comic shop workers. "Well, you're like one of 3 people to add this," she said, her tone surprised somewhere between disbelief and admiration. And after reading this issue, I like to think it was the latter. Because let's face it, this comic isn't just niche, it's the kind of book that rewards you for loving the medium, for loving the quirks, the risk, and the pure joy of storytelling. Ewing gets it, man. He gets Metamorpho. More than that, he understands what makes Silver Age comics sing. Reading this issue is like stepping into a time machine back to a world where splash pages shout at you, where captions are as over the top as the character themselves, and thought balloons actually matter. I grew up reading a lot of Silver Age comics, and this book transported me back to those incredibly fun days. Right from the very first line, my face lit up in recognition. Ewing absolutely nails that manic, vibrant energy of the 60s. It's not just a lazy attempt, it's a love letter. A revival that doesn't just mimic the voice, but channels it. And then there's the structure. That opening splash page is an instant classic for me. It reintroduces Rex Manson, Sapphire Stagg, Simon Stagg, and even Java, complete with the bombastic flair you'd expect from this sort of book. Ewing doesn't stop there. He dives headfirst into the stylistic quirks of the Silver Age, from absurd captions to wacky plot devices. But here's the thing, it never feels outdated. He updates the style just enough to make it work for a new generation of readers. Shade makes an appearance, grounding the story in DC's contemporary universe, and Java, God bless that poor man, is smarter now. He's no longer the cringy, simpering lackey of the past. He's got a bit more layers to him, or at least enough to make him a bit more interesting from this first appearance. It's the perfect balance of reverence for the past with a subtle modern twist. And Steve Lieber's art? It's fun. It's exactly what the book needed. Metamorpho should never feel boring to look at. He's a character made of shifting elements, a living embodiment of creative potential, and Lieber not only rises to the challenge, but makes it look effortless. You can almost feel the joy he had drawing this. The element signs that pop up whenever Rex transforms was genius. It's those little touches that make all the difference, and Lieber absolutely nails them. You can't help but smile as you flip through the pages, for every panel feels alive, brimming with energy and care. Then last but not least, there's Mr. 3. What a villain. He's like a walking callback to the classic rogues of the 50s and 60s, complete with an origin story that's both ridiculous and heartbreakingly tragic. And yet, there's a sleekness to his design, a modern edge that makes him feel fresh. He's campy in all the best ways, but still feels like a genuine threat, and I'm just dying to see more of him. But this first issue isn't just an everyday standard comic book. It's an experience. It's a celebration of what makes comics great, from their wacky beginnings to their limitless potential today. Ewing and Lieber have crafted something that feels timeless, a proper story that could sit comfortably alongside the classics, but still speaks to a modern audience. It's not just for Metamorpho fans, it's for anyone who loves the medium, who loves the joy and absurdity that only comics can deliver. If you're like me who grew up loving Silver Age stories, then this book will feel like coming home. And if you're not, well, maybe it's time to see what you've been missing out on. Either way, Metamorpho the Element Man issue 1 is definitely worth your time. It's weird, it's fun, it's everything comics should be. And who knows, maybe it'll make a metamaniac out of you too.